Conservative Representative Dan Crenshaw recently matched wits with a 10-year-old, and it did not go well for him.
The most important thing here is that we have important hero archetypes that we look up to. Jesus is a hero archetype, Superman is a hero archetype. Real characters too. I could name 1,000. Rosa Parks, Ronald Reagan, end quote. I can't wrap my head around this.
Well, I'll help you. Put a period after the word Jesus and don't question my faith.
Wow.
Okay, that's...
Wow. To a 10-year-old girl. Way to go, guy.
There's...
You moron.
Look.
Yeah, you don't
That's-
talk to a kid like that.
Yeah,
Boo.
Don't question my faith.
Oh, okay.
You guys can ask questions about all of these things and I will answer them. But don't question my faith.
I can question your faith if this is what you said.
That's... I mean, you can read the quote again. But nowhere in that quote am I saying Jesus is not real. That's a ridiculous statement. Of course he's the Son of God. Of course he's the Son of God, and of course he's real.
You can say two different things. You can say that on a podcast, and you can say this here.
On the podcast, nobody would have understood it that way. I think you're twisting it that way. Which is not very Christ-like. Which is not very Christian.
Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
It's not. And I'm not going to have my faith questioned.
Thank you.
I'm not going to have my faith questioned.
Oh, damn. Don't question my faith. Don't question my faith. I will not have my faith questioned by you. Know your place. No, apparently, no. She called him out on his BS, which means 10-year-old girl 1, Dan Crenshaw, big fat 0. So, look, you could hear, this is not a left-wing crowd, by the way. No, it's a right-wing crowd, and they were not impressed. Hey, how dare you talk to a child like this who's actually calling you out? And again, this is somebody who's saying, well, wait a minute. This is somebody who's religious saying, wait a minute, you just said Jesus wasn't real on a podcast. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Now I'm gonna call you out. And his response was, I'm gonna snap at you. Well, what kind of a tough guy are you, Dan Crenshaw? I mean, what, you can't handle questions? Are you some sort of snowflake or something? I mean, are you what?
Beta male.
Yeah, you beta? Is that it? You can't handle any sort of questions, right? No, and so the irony is, Dan Crenshaw, you've probably seen some of his cringy ads, right? Where he pretends to be like some superhero. Like, oh, I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna jump out of the plane, and then I'm gonna, come down in this truck filled with Antifa, and I'm gonna go after him. Yeah, because I'm a tough guy. I'm a big, strong man. Strong Sigma male. That's what I am. Yeah. Oh, but you can't answer a question from a 10-year-old. Don't question my faith. Don't question my faith. Now, why he was so mad is because she saw right through him. I'm pretty sure she realized that he's nothing more than a slimy politician, that he uses religion to get elected. And older people may fall for it, but this kid's not falling for it. So now, by the way, what you heard from her is a quote from this podcast he was on. I'm actually going to show you what he said, just to make sure that there's no, misunderstanding what he actually said. So here he is. This was on the Jocko podcast. Listen.
The important thing is that we have societal hero archetypes that we look up to. Jesus is a hero archetype. Superman is a hero archetype. Real characters too. We can name 1,000. Rosa Parks, Ronald Reagan. All of these people embody certain attributes that the American people think this is good.
Real characters. Now, even if it was super, super sloppy, telling of it, the fact that he couldn't say, look, I worded it very poorly. No, but he said, you're twisting it. You're twisting what I said because they wouldn't understand. And neither would you because you're just a dumb kid. That's what frustrates me. I have no problem with him or with anybody owning up to their mistakes and saying, hey, look, I worded this really poorly. You're absolutely right. I didn't mean to refer to Jesus as, in his context, right? I didn't mean to refer to Jesus as a fake character. Obviously, no, he's just super, super real. He's very, very real. Just like the memes. The memes are very real. But okay, he didn't do that. He snapped at him. He snapped at this little girl. And so, now look, substantively, I actually agree with that, okay? Yes, Jesus was either not real or at best a mythos created around a man who actually did exist. Not the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, halo around his head, blah, 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 whatever. No, Jesus, if there was an actual Jesus, he looks vastly different from what you see in the Bible and would be a Middle Eastern Jewish man. And that's basically it. And that's it. Now, here's the thing. His reaction to a young person sniffing out his duplicity, well, that's very, very telling. Know your place. Now, I think kids are pretty good at calling out bullshit. And who's more full of bullshit than politicians? In this case, a lot of right-wingers tend to, pretend to be good Christians, right? Good Christian. While doing some very un-Christian things. For example, you're supposed to welcome immigrants. You're supposed to love thy neighbor. You're supposed to give away your stuff to the poor. Pay your taxes. Turn the other cheek. Whip bankers. Not take their campaign donations. Like the Jesus in the Bible. Actual stuff. Look it up. Now, if you really do look up to Jesus, well then, I don't know, maybe trying to keep your country mired in endless wars isn't very Christ-like. As Crenshaw had argued, he's like, no, the endless wars that America's in, that's actually a good thing. We should continue to do it. Well, I don't exactly think that Jesus would approve. Or nor would he approve of cutting taxes on the wealthy and corporations. Not that it, of course, should matter because, well, at the end of the day, we're not a theocracy. We actually do have a constitution. And we do have democracy, or at least a representative democracy. But anyway, Dan Crenshaw, however, Dan Crenshaw works for the donors, the wealthy business interests that line his pockets. That's who he works for. That's who he is. Now, speaking of the donors, by the way, this video was posted by Scott T. Parkinson, the VP of Government Affairs at the Club for Growth. Now, why? Why would they post this? Very, very obvious ownage. Again, not Crenshaw looking tough, but a child embarrassing him. I don't know, but Scott also admitted, you know what, this is probably not going to raise a whole lot of money for Dan Crenshaw. Yeah, well, no kidding. Oh, but that's okay. He actually doesn't need that much from the people anyway, from the voters. I mean, who needs the money from the voters anyway? No. All the big corporate donors that love his policies, like Lockheed Martin, for example, they'll make up the difference. No problem. Plus, he lives in an incredibly gerrymandered district. So, yeah, very likely probably to win again. Still, I don't know. As far as that girl, well, look, even though we disagree on religion, she seems bright and not afraid to challenge power. And I think that's really important. I mean, she even had read Crenshaw's book, or at least as far as enough to get to that quote here and listen to the podcast. And so my hope for her is that she continues to read and question everything. And because I tell you what, there is no book that's ever been created that has made more atheists and agnostics out of people than the Christian Bible.